Welcome guys, Mel here from Mel's Motors. Treat for you today, got a Morgan Sport V twin. It came in for an MOT, sadly I failed it. Rear brake non-compliant, wasn't working at all. Foot on the brake in the brake tester, got a solid pedal, nothing happening, pushed really hard, eventually got something out of it, and then as I released my foot, the brake didn't release. So something is seized back there, so I need to investigate and see what's causing this issue. This is roughly a 2 litre V-twin. It's a Harley-esque engine. It's based around the Harley V-twins. If you like Harleys and enjoy videos like that, there's a couple of links down there for a Harley that we did not long ago. But this is an S&S engine. It's an American V-twin engine. Company that makes these has been going since 1958. These go into a lot of the cruisers and choppers if you're into bikes like that. Link at the bottom. We did a big dog 2-part video. We did what we did on that now. It was starting issue and a few other bits and pieces. Rear lights, electrical repair. Links at the bottom, have a look at those. Don't forget guys, subscribe, like, it helps others enjoy these videos. Those of you from overseas are wondering what an MOT is. It's an annual test where we test the vehicles to make sure they're roadworthy, safe to be out there with all the other motorists. MOT, those of you who don't know what MOT stands for in the UK and overseas, it's just Ministry of Transport. That's all it stands for. There's nothing else other than that. It's just the Ministry of Transport that advocates that every car should have this annual test to be compliant to be on the road. Anyway guys, let's move on to the video. So I failed this last week on rear brakes. There was no effort from the brake pedal. Pressed really hard. Eventually got something out of it. And now the wheel's jammed on. So this has got rear brake drum built on the other side. I'll show you in a second. Now either the wheel cylinders was seized and it's jammed the brake shoes on, or the brake shoes themselves, the way they're situated on the back plate, they're probably seized on there and it's just jammed the brake shoes on. So we need to strip it, investigate and see what the problem is. Now before I strip it, this belt's got to come off. I've got to take the rear wheel off. You just about see there's a bit of a lip, well the belt's not sitting fully on the rear gear. I mentioned this to the customer in the past, but there's not much we can do about that. I could adjust the wheel and shift it over, but if you come right up here, look how close that is to the tyre. There's only a couple of millimetres of gap there, probably about 5 mil. And if you look down here, there's probably about 8-9 mil of movement over. So if you move it over, this is going to end up rubbing the tyre. So in theory, this should have been shimmed out from the factory so that the rear sprocket would stick out a bit more, but there's not much we can do about that. It's a feature, I would say it was a feature of this vehicle. So and look how close it is to the frame there. It's only because the rear suspension's dropped, it's dropping the belt, but that's not a concern. Customer's aware of that. So this is the brake shoe on this side. As you can see, we've got to take the rear spindle out, drop the reel out, and hopefully the drum will come out with it. First time doing one of these, so it's going to be interesting for you and I. So hopefully you'll enjoy this video. Okay, so I've got a bit of light in here now, so we can see a bit clearer. This is the hydraulics coming into the wheel cylinder. We're going to have to undo that so that we can free the line off the drum. If I undo that, we're going to have brake fluid dripping on our head all day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the brake applicator on inside, just to put the brake on very slightly. That way, anyone who knows how a master cylinder works, has a reservoir on top and the piston inside, for it to draw fluid in. There's a tiny little hole in between the reservoir and the master cylinder. As soon as the piston goes forward, it blocks that hole. That's what I'm trying to do, block the hole so that we don't get brake fluid filling the system and just dripping on us all day. So I'll bring it down, put the applicator on, then we'll undo that union, we'll de-adjust the belt tensioners, get them right out so we can push the wheel forward, take the belt off from the other side, and then I've got my hydraulic lift here, so obviously I need something to put the wheel on. I'm not going to be able to carry that weight once the drum and the wheel and the sprocket come out. It's going to be quite heavy. So first thing, get it down, put the applicator on. Okay, so put the brake applicator on. It's on the brake pedal there in the centre. I said you've only got to put it on just a little bit, just so that the pedal goes forward and stops the reservoir filling the master cylinder, and then down the line and then on my head. Okay, one last thing left to do before we take this out is take the handbrake cable off. So I'm just going to follow it back, and it's just in the centre here, so it's not too bad to get to. So I'll undo that, and then we'll get the rear spindle out and try and get the rear wheel out. Okay, parking brake's now off. See the mechanism up there. Just a pin really, and just undo the locking nut. I'm just going to go around this side. I'm just going to pull the belt, and hopefully that'll bring the entire wheel forward. That's it. Just get the belt off. Well, I've just seen something that's very, very unpleasant. I can't get this out because the tank's in the way. I don't really want to take the tank off because this bracket that holds the tank in, you see that it's broken there and in that corner. I don't really want to mess with that. I'll see if I can undo the shock absorber from up the top there, and well, I can't even get that bolt out either because that's right next to the other side of the tank. If I get the shock absorber undone, I could drop this an extra couple of inches, and that will just give me access to this bolt to get it out. I'll bring it down and see if I can see the other end of that shock absorber up the top inside the car. Okay, the vehicle's back down. I'm just going to undo the leather straps, there's one on each side. I'm not going to pull up from the strap, I'm just going to pull up from underneath. And there's like the clamshell up. Right, in here we've got some Allen key screws holding this plastic tub in. I think once I undo them, get this out, I should be able to get to the top bolts of that shock absorber. Okay, two shock absorbers, so I can get to this bolt and the one on the other side, and hopefully be able to drop that down. Okay, the rear suspension's free. The tyre is actually touching the ground. So I didn't want the suspension just to drop to the floor. I'm going to take the ramp up slowly. I want to see how far the suspension drops, because I don't want it to lock out on the chassis. So if need be, we may have to strap it up just to keep it only to the height where I can get that bolt out. So I don't want it to drop right down. So I'm going to put this bar through the top of the shock. And use a couple of blocks of wood, and one on each side. Just so that it just holds it up. Okay, so just carrying the weight on my jack there. Now we can get to this bolt. We're not interfering with the fuel tank. Well, as it turns out, I didn't have to drop it to get this bolt out, because it's an open shaft here, look. So we could have just slid it out. But to be fair, it's given me a lot more room at the back here to play with. And I think it's going to be okay as one man as well. So if I just put the camera there, I should just be able to bring this down.
Cable.
Yeah, just pull the handbrake cable out.
Oh, I see.
There we go. Okay, well that was tight on there. Like I said, when we did the brake test on the MOT, the brakes jammed on. This is our wheel cylinder. That's where the hydraulic brake line went in. As brake fluid goes in, pushes pistons out, pushes the brake shoes out onto the drum, and hence your brakes work. Now I've got a feeling that these pistons might be seized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some swan necks, going to pinch this, see if the pistons go in. If they move freely, then it's going to be something else, but I'm pretty sure that's a problem. Well, those definitely aren't moving, so I'm pretty sure that's seized, so we're going to need a new wheel cylinder. Okay, I've just unclipped the shoes out of the way just so I can get a better grip on there, just to double check it. Yeah, they're definitely seized. Managed to get that one to move, this one won't move at all. So I managed to find a supplier, got this delivered today. The outer casing looks smaller than this one, so I've just pulled this boot back and on this one just to measure the piston. The exterior size is not important, it's what's inside. This one is measuring about 20 mil. and this one's measuring about the same. So internally they're exactly the same. On the back, again they're the same. Pin in the corner. We'll have to swap that union end into here, and we've got a new clip as well, so we'll swap the clips over. Okay, both shock absorbers are in now. You can see the brake union there. That's all tight now. We just need to bleed the brakes. I could probably do that from up here, saves me doing it from below. I haven't tightened the spindle yet or adjusted the belt. Remember that gap we had down there? You see this plate here? There was one on the other side at some point, but it's been removed. I'm going to spin that wheel a few times once it's adjusted to make sure we get it back to where it was so it doesn't rub against this tyre. Being a Morgan, you're naturally going to see some timber in there, and this bit here is timber all the way around. I'm probably right in guessing that it's ash. So this is all timber here as well. There is some at the bottom down there as well, making up this back frame. It's a beautiful machine. It's certainly not for me, but it's not something you see every day. So these are the bits of a Morgan. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I need to get this front off. A couple of speed clips on each side, so we'll get that off. Master cylinder's under there. Just going to top that up. Remove our brake applicator. You saw how effective that was. Just a couple of pumps, no drips from the back. If that wasn't there, that would empty the entire reservoir down onto the floor or on my head. So if you do wheel cylinders, brake hoses, applicator, piece of wood, whatever you're going to use on there, it makes a massive difference to keeping your workshop and your sleeves and everything clean. There we go. You expect to see an engine under there, but no, the engine's way out there. So this is expansion tank, brake master cylinder and reservoir, battery, gearbox. Right guys, so I've got my brake bleeder set up. The hose goes into the reservoir. Put some tissue down so we don't make a mess. Looks like someone's already made a mess in the past. Some brake fluid there. I'll try and clean that up afterwards. Brake applicator removed. Bleed bottle all set up, and we're going to start bleeding. Before we do that, we're going to fire up our machine. If you're interested in some of the equipment we use, there'll be a link at the bottom for this particular machine. So we're building up pressure. It's just over 1 bar, we don't need it that high. So we'll just keep it around the bar. Now normally when I use these hoses for bleeding the brakes, I try to have them vertically up, so when you bleed them you can see where the air bubbles are coming through and you can see when they stop. So we've got the bubbles coming through. So we've got clear fluid, some micro bubbles there as well. Okay, I'm going to close it off. I'm going to pump the brake a couple of times. Okay, just bleed again. There you go, got air bubble coming out there. A couple of micro bubbles. Okay, close it and pump a couple more times. Another bubble. Okay, close. Just pump again. Some more bubbles. And this will probably be the last time now. And a few more bubbles again. Okay, the line looks clear now. Okay, bleeding done. We need to go up in the air now and just adjust that belt up, realign the wheel, and then we can start putting things back together. Okay, brakes done, bled, bolts tight, split pins in, handbrake cable tied up and in, new split pin in there, belts adjusted. We've got that offset again as before. You can clearly see here now where the screws are for the same plates that was on the back. It's not on the front, someone's removed it. Okay, we're going to bring it down now, stick the tub back in up top there and go for a road test. Unpleasant. It's like being on a motorcycle, but without the lid, it was not nice. Right, brake test, and let's see where we go from there. Okay, so just come back from the road test. Now we've got to do a brake test on our brake tester. This is a multi-function brake tester, so we do cars and bikes, but in between that we can do trikes as well. When we do bikes, we only use that roller. This one becomes obsolete, and so I can't go on the ramp to do that, so we have to do these backwards, but our brake tester's omnidirectional anyway, so if I click this button we can make the rollers go in the right direction that we need. So I'm going to drop that into the brake tester. It's not servo assisted, so we can do that with the car turned off. I'll get it in there and then we'll do a brake test. Okay, so I'm in the trike. Don't know if you can see on there, but our brake test is also a weigh bridge, so it weighs vehicles. I'm just going to operate that. So we've got the wheel spinning now. I'm just going to operate the brake. And we're going to watch the gauge rise. So now we've got brake operation. There we go, on and off. And the brake locked on. So, brake fixed. So we're going to log on to this MOT test, retest the vehicle, and then get it back to the customer. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Something different as always. Try and keep you guys entertained with some of these weird and wonderful vehicles that we get in. It's probably going to come back for other stuff, so we may continue doing videos on this. Most of these videos we do, it's for your benefit, you know, for your enjoyment, but also for our customers. Our customers like to see us working on their stuff, and you know, it gives them an idea of how awkward and difficult some jobs can be, how we do workarounds. Like I said, I haven't worked on this before. We had to undo a few things that we didn't have to undo. We could have got around it. Dropping the rear suspension was unnecessary. We could have got the wheel out, would have been fiddly, but so it's a learning curve for us. It's not something we see every day. Doing it the way we did it, I feel that it probably gave us a bit more room to get that back wheel off. But if you've got one at home, you don't need to do it. You should be able to get it out as it was. But trial and error. But thankfully, the trial and errors that we encountered here was just time. That's all I lost on this. But to be fair, with the rear suspension drop down, you got a better view of what I was doing, and so did I. So, as always, guys, like button, subscribe, bell notification, so you're notified next time I upload a video. Okay, guys.